Hi there, it's Karen here from Turquoise Treasures. Welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to do something a little different. Well, it's a little different from me in that I'm going to be doing a bit of mixed media. I haven't really done that on camera before, well, at least not for a very long time. And I'm going to be doing something I definitely haven't really done before, and that is I'm going to be using my sprays on fabric. So what I've got, if I pull this over, I've got a box here of mostly, but not exclusively, Dylusions ink sprays. These are water-based paint sprays, really. Oh, ink sprays, not paint. Water-based ink sprays. And I've got quite a few of these, and I really like them. They're really, really rich colours. So I'm going to be using some of these. In fact, I'm definitely going to be using this one. This is Vibrant Turquoise, obviously my favourite. So I'm going to be using those to start with, and I'm just going to select some of the colours. The others I've got in here are called, they're by Shimmers, and I've got a variety of these. These are all ones I acquired when I belonged to the Hit Kit Club, which is a scrapbooking monthly subscription club, and you can opt to buy the mixed media part of the kit as an extra. Which I often did. So you'd get the basic kit, which was all the scrapbooking papers and embellishments, and then you could also buy the mixed media kit, and I did that on quite a number of occasions, and I've ended up with quite a lot of these. They're all by Shimmers. Some of them are called Vibes, some of them are called Colourings. This one is called a Spritz. They're slightly different ways they come out. Some of them are a little bit more shimmery than others. These are all my non-shimmery paints, I would say. These are all just plain paint. So I'll just get out the ones, or inks I should say, sprays. So I'm going to get out the ones that I want to use to start with, which are all the what Diane Reevely would call her cool colours. She's the owner of Dylusions and also the creator of all these paints and sprays and everything that she does. I've also got a lot of her paints as well, which are all acrylic paints, and she calls them all her cool colours, and always advises just to avoid creating mud, as she calls it. Stick with the cool colours on one thing and all your warm colours on something separate, otherwise they mix together. Sorry, phone as usual. Or they mix together and you just get a horrible shade of muddy brown. So I'm going to go with, so that one is called After Midnight, which is a really dark rich blue. This one is Poisoned Jade, which is jade green. What else have I got that I fancy using? I'm going to use the Crushed Grape, which is the purple, which is one she calls will go either way. Will either go with the warms or the cools. I think they might be the only ones I've got. Oh no, I've got a blue here, another blue, London Blue, which is a lighter blue. I don't think I've got any more. I've got a Fresh Lime. I might use the lime. I might put a bit of that on. And all the others are warm colours, so I might use them a bit later. What else have I got here? I've got Gathered Twigs. Oh, that's a Distress Stay spray, so that's a Tim Holtz one. And I've got a Sage Green, which is a completely different make, so I'm going to get that one out just to see if it's any use to me. Right. So I've got those at the ready. I'll just show you the other sprays that I've got with me today, because I'm going to be using some of these as well a bit later on. These are all the shimmery ones, the ones with a bit of glisten, a bit of glitter, a bit of sparkle in. And I have watched a lot of Diane Reevely videos, and one of the tips she gives us, which is I've followed and I think is actually proved to be a very good one, is if you've got anything with a bit of, I suppose a bit of what they call it, mica in it or anything like that, if you look at this pink one, this is a Lindy's Stamp Gang shimmery spray. It's called Cotton Candy Pink. You can see the pink, but all the mica side of it is all along here, whereas if you stand it up it will all settle to the bottom, and it's really quite hard to mix it up. But because it's all lying on its side, you only have to do a little bit of swirl and it's mixed in and it's not clogging up your tube. So I have actually briefly given all of these a bit of a squirt to see if they work, because I was convinced, I haven't used them for probably 2 years, I was convinced that at least half of them I wouldn't be able to get anything out of, because I find sprays quite a challenge anyway at the best of times. So I thought, well, some of these certainly some of these glittery sprays I may have to ditch, because I just didn't think, I thought they'd be all clogged up and I wouldn't be able to get anything out of them. In the end, only 4 out of the whole box didn't work. And most of these worked pretty well. I was quite surprised, and I thought this must be because they've been lying down all this time. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. So I've got these, and we'll come back to those, and I'll go through them and pick some out a bit later on. So let's get started. I've been so looking forward to this. So I'm just going to, perhaps I should put those over to one side because I'm going to squirt that way, so I need to perhaps put them slightly out of the way. And I'm going to start with, no, not that one. I'm going to start with the turquoise. Why not start with the one, whoops, start with the favourite one. And it is a bit of a messy job. I've got some wet wipe on handy. Well, I've got quite a few bits of dry wipe as well. I've got my desk is all covered with a big plastic tablecloth, which is totally necessary. And I've also put a piece of it's actually a piece of a paper bag. I've cut it up, so I've got a nice, it was a huge paper bag, so I've just cut one sheet side of it off, so I've got a piece underneath, because then it will catch all the overspray, and it'll be another piece of possible paper to use in collage or something. So let's give this a try. And I'm just going to squirt randomly. Oh, look at this colour. Gorgeous. Right. There's one or two areas that are a bit darker. Okay, that might just be enough to start. And I mean, it's really easy. You know, you just spray them. You don't have to do any preparation. What colour shall I do next? Bit of London blue. Sometimes they get a bit stuck. So sometimes you just have to wiggle it a bit and get it to come back up. I think sometimes they get a bit stiff and then they don't pop back up. I'll just do a little bit down here. Okay, that'll do for this one. I can always come back and do a bit more if I feel there's a gap. Actually, what I've got to try and remember to do, which I'm terrible at remembering, is give the nozzle a little wipe. I mean, I think I probably hadn't done that before, and they still worked after 2 years of inaction, so I'm not too worried. Just give it a squirt, but it's good practice to spray your to wipe your spray nozzle. Okay. What else we got? A bit of purple. I'm not going to go too mad with the purple. It's a very rich cut. Isn't it gorgeous? Bit up here. Okay. Not got much going on down the bottom here. Let's have a little bit of midnight blue. Oh, that's just luscious. Luscious. And what else? A bit of fresh lime. How's this going to mix in? I'm going to do it in this corner because I'm not sure how well it'll go with the others. Oops, sprayed it right off to the side. Try and point it in the right direction, woman. There we go. Oh yes. Oh, quite like that. Okay. I've got to fill in, I mean there's still some white bits. So I think I'll come back in with, oh, not that one, what's that one? Oh, that must be that one. back in with a bit more of me vibrant turquoise, I think. Just a little bit more in some of the gaps. Okay. What else do we need? Yeah, a little bit more London blue, I think. A little bit more of the lighter blue. Oh, this is the one that jams a little bit, to sort of pull it up a bit. Blech, look at the colour. The thing is about these being water-based, although you're getting a right mess when you're doing it, it doesn't take too many hand washes to get it off. You know, maybe a couple. Right. This is a bit of a leaky bottle, this, I think. Just want to put a little bit more up in that corner. Don't know if you can see. Okay. And I think I want a little bit more here. I'm going to pull the top up, it's a bit annoying. What else? I think there's a little gap here, and I think I'm going to put a little bit of fresh lime in there. This one sprays quite nicely. Fresh lime in there. Alright, that one's fairly saturated. What about over here? What do we need? Need a little bit more over here. Let's put. I've decided I don't think this was going to go. I think the colour's not going to work, so I'm going to stick to the dilutions because I know they all work together. So I think what we need here, possibly need a little bit more of the purple. Oh, and some more of the poisoned jade, I think. No, that's the turquoise. I think I've done a fair bit of turquoise. I might put a bit more. Let's go with a bit more poisoned jade. Great names, aren't they? Poisoned jade. And a last squirt of turquoise. Oh no, this was poison jade. That was the turquoise. Oh, what am I doing? I don't know, but it's okay. This is the poison jade. I want to make sure it's all covered. Okay. Right, just pull the tops back on, make sure they're all wiped. And I'm already in a mess, look at this, there. But it's okay. Right, this is quite saturated now. Quite vibrant coloured. So I need to let that dry. And I want to do something now, because what I want to come back and do is add a little bit of sparkle with the some of the other sprays. I've got a gold that I want to sprinkle, and I might possibly be able to spray a few sparkly bits across it. So I want to leave it to dry. I don't know how long it'll take. I may have to give it have a break for a little while and then come back and to make sure it's dry before I can finish this. But that's the colour I've started with. So I think that's gorgeous. Absolutely love it. Love these colours. Not quite sure how I got this colour because it seems to be different to all the other colours. There must be a bit of London blue and some of the green has run together and made a bit of an orange, but that's not a problem. It was all a bit experimental anyway. I'm just trying to think where I can put this to dry it off. Just one moment and I'll be back. Okay, I've got that draped, so I'm hoping it'll dry off quite fairly quickly. Now, the next thing I wanted to work with is these. These are Dylusions as well. They're called adhesive canvas blanks. And these are really, hardly ever used them. I may have been able to use a couple just because they're quite difficult to know quite what to use them. But they're a really good journaling card size, I thought. So I thought I'd do the same with one of these. And see how that looks, because then I could perhaps cut some shapes out or something. So let's go with the same combination of colours, but try and be a little bit more restrained on the colour, on the spray. Right. Okay. One's there. I've got a clean bit of wet wipe. I want to try a little bit of purple. Crushed grape, it's called. Bit of that. Wipe the nozzle. I might occasionally remember to do that. Oh, a little bit of the midnight. After midnight it's called. Let's just spray it. Make sure I'm spraying it in the right direction. Okay, I mean that is just the most beautiful colour. What else do we want? Put a bit of London blue in the middle. This one is not working terribly well. What's this one? Is this polish? No, poison jade. Is it point? No. Do you know, I've always thought this was poison jade. It's polished jade. Where did I get poison jade from? I don't know. I think it looks, if I look at it, it's got kind of funny writing. And I think, I can see it's actually polished jade. I've always called it poison jade. I have no idea why. Because when I look at it more closely, I can see it's polished jade. I think it's the font. It just looks like it says poison to me. Well, it makes a lot more sense to call it polished jade, really, doesn't it? A lot more sense. Okay, so I'm going to put a bit of polished jade. So if anybody is familiar with it, they'll be thinking, what is she going on about poison jade for? There we are. I've had them all these years and never read it properly. Well, all these years. I probably had them, I should think, a couple of years at least, some of these. And that was probably one of the first ones I bought. It's curling right up now, but I just want to do a little bit of the fresh lime in that little space at the bottom. Okay. Right, so this has now got to dry, and I'll have to flatten it out as well. So there's a little bit of white at the top there. I might just put a bit more of the crushed grape at the top. See if I can flatten it out a bit. Whoops. No, that'll do. There we are. That's got to dry now. There. So yes, I'm even more of a mess now. So it's probably enough with those colours. Let's try something completely different and go with my sparklies. I was going to say, this, I've got plenty of this. This is an old pair of trousers. Would you believe? I had a pair of old white cotton trousers. And they got a bit stained, as white will do, if you're wearing them and eating in them and dropping things down yourself, like I do. So I was having a clear out and I thought, well, they're not the sort of thing you can put in the recycling because I don't like passing things on that have already got a stain on them. So then I thought, well, maybe I can use them in some way. And then when I thought about doing, spraying some fabric, I thought that would be perfect. So I have this piece and I'm going to try to not get any more of these dark colours on it. Move them all out of the way. Let's start bringing in some pretty soft colours now. Did I actually? Let me just check I've put the camera back on. Yes, I have. Okay, so I've got to move these back in. So what are we going to use? So these, I'll just show you what I've got here. I've got a few of these, quite a few. I've got a few Heidi Swap Colour Shine, which actually I find the most difficult to use as far as sprays go, even though they're probably the one I've got the most of, because they're the ones I used to buy straight off Amazon. Most of the others have come from my Hip Kit subscription. So I've got 3 of these. These are Prima Colour Bloom. I've got 3 of these. These came in mixed media kit one month. So I've got that one, and there's a yellow one. Actually, I should lay these all down, otherwise I'm undoing all the work I've done keeping them all lying down. So I've got a blue, a pink and a yellow Spring Dandelion in that one, and I like this one because it's a nice it's a really easy spray, that one. Then I've got these Lindy's. I've got this one, which is I've got 2 different shades of pink in this one. These are called Starburst Sprays. Cotton Candy Pink and Autumn Maple Crimson, so I may not use that one. And I've got Tiffany Lou Blue. Any more of those? Yes, there's a green. Lindy's, and this is a Mad Hatter Mint. So I've got that. So they're the Lindy's. And then I have another Heidi Swap here. So I've got the turquoise. I've got rose pink, and the gold in the Heidi Swap. It was all Heidi Swaps that got jammed that I've had to put to one side. This is another Heidi Swap one. This is, what colour is this? I think it's like a mint. Can't see where the colour is. Oh yeah, sweet mint. So that's that one. Not got a lot of sparkle in that one, so not sure about that. I've got the Dylusions White Linen. Now the reason is in there, apparently this is the only one that she did of her original. She does do sparkle, what they call shimmer sprays of some sort now, but this was the only one that had some sort of mica in it, so this is why she was talking about laying it down. Although the others needed to be stood up, this one always had to be laying down because it's some kind of mica. I don't know why the white has a mica in it, but it does. So I put it in with my shimmer sprays. So I might put a little bit of the white on top of my other piece when it's dry. Don't know. And then I've got a few... Oh, I've got another Heidi Swap here, which is the peach. Don't know if I'll use that one. Then I've got some more shimmers ones. And these. So I've got Walkertight Heliotrope. The names they come up with for these things. This one's called Treasured Him, and it's a kind of beigey colour, and this is Peachy Keen. So I think I definitely want to use the Heliotrope because that's a purpley colour. Don't think I'm going to use that. I've also got a couple of Mr. Huey's, but I don't know that I'll need those either. And the peachy colour. I want to stick with shades of pink with a bit of blue. Yeah, sort of spring colours, I think, what I want to use. So I'm just going to put a few back that I definitely don't think I'm going to use. Yeah, what colour is this one? Oh, this is called Teal, this one, the Heidi Swap, that one. Don't know. I might put a bit of that in, because all of these should have a bit of shimmer in, which is nice. I think I might keep... Right, let's just move some of these out of the way, and let's see what we can do. I'm just going to make a start. I'm going to start with this one, which is the Wild Raspberry. Now, where was that autumnal one that I said I didn't think I was going to use? Oh no, that was the Lindy's one, so I'm going to get rid of that one, the autumn one. And this has a little plastic thing that stops the spraying when you're not using it. It just pops in there. Okay, let's give this a try. Definitely don't know how this is going to go on here. Interesting. Kind of, it's not spreading out as much as I thought it would. I'm going to try another shade of pink. This is the Lindy's. This is the Cotton Candy Pink. Oh, it's much paler. Can almost go all over with that and do things on top, and I can see the sparkle already, like that. Let's try this Colourings, what's it called? No, Spritz Walking a Tight Heliotrope. I've now got lucky fingers again. Okay, let's try a bit of a heliotrope. Ooh, it's quite a dark purple. Kind of grapey, purpley colour. Okay, interesting. Don't know how these are all going to turn out to get mixed in together. I'm going to do a bit of blue. Maybe I'll do a bit of blue up in this corner here. Of course it's not squirting. There we go. Okay, nice colour, but I'm getting a rather strange sort of, it's not really concentrating in one spot. Some of them are actually very concentrated and others seem to go spread right around. And it's gone all over. it's sprayed all over my my other spray. All over this one, which was a bit foolish. Put it right in the firing line, didn't I? Right, remember to put them to one side, not in front of myself, where they're going to just get sprayed all over. Okay, have I used that one? No. Right, let's try this other blue. See how that comes out. That's this blue here. It may be I'll have to pick the colours that come out best and do another piece. Ooh, that's pretty and much easier to spray. Okay, liking that. Put a bit more down here. Okay, mustn't use my little bit of plastic because that's going to stop it leaking everywhere afterwards. Okay, what we got here? Bit of green. Let's do a bit of green. Oh, that's a pretty green. Okay. All of these, the Lindy's are called Starburst sprays, and you can definitely see the sparkle as they're coming out. So they're really good. I wasn't so keen on this pink, so I'm going to put this to one side and not come back to it. That's this darker pink. It was just a bit darker than I'd anticipated. I wanted soft, pretty colours, really. So we'll put that to one side. Let's have a go with this yellow. I haven't used my little plastic piece. Just put that to this, to one side. try that. What I might do is just try and mop up some of the colour. Okay, well, I'm liking the yellow. Right, okay, yellow, good. Right, now I've got the old Heidi Swapp colours, which are all a bit difficult to get to spray. Let's see how I get on. I might do a bit more, an intense burst of this pink because it's so pretty, but it's getting a bit covered up. Okay, yep. Right, this is the teal. It's quite sparkly when it wants to come out, which is not much of the time. No, that's not the right top for that. Okay, that's the top for the Lindy's. Let's have a go with the rose. So some are clearly more sparkly than others. I'm finding the Lindy's are quite sparkly. So there's this green and this blue. And this one. These are all the Lindy's ones, I think. Unless this was the other. And the colour burst ones are fairly sparkly. The Prima ones. Right. These are quite intense in colour. This is the gold. Let's try how I get on with this. Just a little bit. It's very sticky. These get very sticky. Ooh. Okay, the gold is nice. The gold is working, which is a surprise. Ooh, but it does get very sticky for some reason. Don't know why. Got really sticky fingers now. So yeah, I think all the ones on this half are ones I might want to use again together. But I'm not so sure about these this dark pink and this purple don't really work. But they might work quite well with the Dylusions colours. I was giving it a little sparkle on top. So I might try that. Okay, what I'm going to try and do, oops, I'm going to put this to one side. I'm going to have to wipe this a bit. Okay, and I'm going to do another one of these blanks. And I'm going to do one with that pink, that pink. What other colour shall I do with it? Oh, I might do one. I mix in a bit of this. This is Peony Blush. This is the Dylusions. I wonder if these three colours would work quite well together as a sort of pink sort of journal card. I could do a blue one and I could do a sort of goldy yellowy one, couldn't I? Could try. Oh, that's a beautiful colour. But there's no sparkle in that one. So I can do that as a sort of base. And gosh, this is messy. What's gone on here? I think this must have got sprayed on as well. It's really covered in something very pink. Maybe I just sprayed on it with me Peony Blush. Perhaps I've blushed all over this spray. Yes, I think I blushed all over that one as well. Oh well, never mind. I knew this would be a messy job. Oh, it's a very similar colour, that one. This is the Heidi Swapp Colour Shine in a Rose. And this bottom piece, no, not that. I'm just going to wipe this because I've sprayed all over this one too. And I'm going to spray it. Give it a good spray because this is a paler colour, but it's got lots of sparkle. Okay. Right, so we've got that, and it's got a nice bit of sparkle in it as well. It's really pretty. I'm wondering whether to add any more pink, any more of a... So I also have, in the Dylusions, I've got Funky Fuchsia. And I'm wondering whether a little bit of Funky Fuchsia will just give it a little extra zhuzh. I'm just going to put a little squirt in there and see how it comes out. Why not? Give it a go. And there. A bit there. How does that come out? So there we go, we've got another extra little bit of colour. So we've got various shades going on in there. When that dries, I think that'll be really pretty. And it's very sparkly. I don't know if you can even see that, if it's picking it up on the camera. But it's really sparkly. Okay, so I need all these to dry a bit now. Oh no, there is one other thing I wanted to do. I've got a piece of mixed media card here. This is Dylusions as well. And this is meant to be sprayed on and squirted, you know, sprayed about. So I'm going to use all the blues, I think, for this. Just to try it. And I may do another one, I'm not sure. But I want to try these, particularly the sparkly ones. Sort of sprays in a bit of a sort of half circle. It's a bit half-hearted really, this spray. It's not great. They all seem to squirt slightly differently. This one's a bit more concentrated. Okay, like that. So I'll get it to run a little bit. And then I've got the teal. Get these out of the way. Sometimes it drips, this one, and sometimes it sprays. You never can tell what's going to come out. Okay. I might mix in a little bit of that green, because that was a pretty colour too. And green goes alright. This was the Lindy's Stamp Gang green. I've got them all standing up again, haven't I? Lay them all down quickly, not that one. Okay, right, let's try the green. Alright, quite liking that. And there is another, I've got this, the mint from Heidi Swapp. I might just try that. Oop. This comes out a lot more solid. It doesn't really spray that well. It's so different. It's a lovely colour. Not particularly sparkly. Okay. So I might just see if I can get any of these to run a little bit. Right. Ooh, standing up. I'm going to turn off the camera and come back when all of these are dry, and then we'll see what we can make with them. Or do with them, should I say. Or I can tell you what I've got planned for them. How about that? Okay, this isn't fully dry yet, but I just wanted to add a couple more things. So I've got a couple of the sparkly sprays to add. I'm going to start with a little bit of this, which is the Walking a Tight Heliotrope, which is basically the purpley colour. I'm not going to put it too madly because I'm not sure how it'll change the colours, but I just thought I'd try it over here to see what it does. But it has got a nice bit of sparkle in it. I might just try on this bit, making it a little darker, and a little bit over here. Let's see if it adds a bit of sparkle. It might do, a bit on the purple over here. Okay, so that's a bit of that. And then I've got this one, which is now been sprayed on, of course, which is the Heidi Swapp Colour Shine in a teal. And what I thought I might try doing with this one is dripping it. Rather than more spraying, I thought I might just do a bit of splattering. See what I get. I've used this one actually quite a lot. This is probably the one with the least in it, because I love it. I'm just going to splatter. Just move it over a little bit. Let's do a bit of splattering over here. Oh, nice big bloops. So I'm hoping that when that dries, it'll just be a nice bit more sparkle. Okay, that's enough of that one. Now the other one I'm going to do as a finishing touch. Now I had planned to splatter, but I think I'm going to spray it a little bit, and that's the gold. The Heidi Swapp Colour Shine in gold. Because it's been splattering, but it's been spraying better than I expected it to, so I thought I would give it a little go with the spray. I'm going to move it away from myself a little bit and spray from the side. If you can see it going across there. Right, so I am getting spray going all in one direction, so I thought I might turn it over and try just spraying from another direction. Okay, so I've got some more sprayed, some a bit more concentrated, but I've got a nice bit of gold going on the top there. So we'll see how this all looks when it's properly dry, and I'll be back to show you all of the ones, go through them all, see if they need anything else, and then we'll decide what's to be done with them. Okay, see you in a minute. I am back. It's the next day, so everything is dry and it's finished doing what it needs to do to create whatever shapes it wants to make on the fabrics, where it just spreads a little bit sometimes. Okay, so this is the one we made on camera. This is the big sheet that I really wanted to do in these lovely, these greeny, bluey colours, and I really like how that's turned out. And it looks like that now with the splatters of gold as well. So that one I'm really happy with. Not so happy with this one. I don't really like this dark purpley colour down here, but I can certainly use some of this up here, which is a bit prettier and a bit lighter. what I have noticed is that it's a very thin, it was a very thin cotton fabric, but it actually almost feels canvassy now it's dried with all the sprays and that on it, which is interesting. This one, I can't remember if I did this on camera or off camera, because I know I did a little bit more off camera while I had all the sprays out, and this might have been one that I did. I think, I can't remember if I did it on camera or not, so sorry about that. It was only yesterday, I can't remember what I did. But I like this one. This has got just the pretty pinks and a bit of yellow and a bit of blue and green and all the really soft colours, with just the odd bit that's crept through from the background, I think. This was one I did before when I was just trying out the paints and the sprays to see if they worked on fabric at all. I didn't want to mess about doing it on camera and finding that actually they didn't take to the fabric or it looked awful or something. So this was just an odd piece that I did, but I actually quite like that piece. This was the one, this was another one I did. I think I definitely did this one off camera, partly because it had managed to soak up some of the dark colours. I was about to use it and it soaked up some of the dark colours from the background here and there, so I thought it was a bit, I wasn't sure how well it would look, so I just went with some pinks on that one. So I don't think I did that one on camera, pretty sure I didn't. Okay, so that's all the fabrics. Now these are the papers. So this was the mixed media paper I did with all those just the blues and greens, and I love that. I love the shimmer. I don't know if you can catch the shimmer of that, if you can see the light. It's absolutely gorgeous, really love that. And it's a bit lighter than some of the darker colours over there. This was one I did when I was trying them out again. This is just an ordinary piece of, I think it's some matte photo paper I use for this. So this has got a bit of a mixture of the colours. This is when I was testing them all just to see if they worked, really, to start with, before I turned the camera on. This one, after I turned the camera off, I did another one with just the dark colours, just the purples and turquoise and the green and the polished jade, not the poison jade, which I've been calling it for God knows how long. Okay, so I love that. I love that colour, those colours, so that's really nice. I like that. And then this is the spray off sheet, which I think is also decidedly usable. And you may be wondering why I'm doing all this. I mean, I did want to just play with it. I did wake up thinking I really want to play with my sprays and try them on fabric, and that was really the first thought I had. But I'd already had in the back of my mind the next journal I want to do and how I was going to do it and how I was going to make stuff for it, and certainly the journal cover. So the two things gelled in my mind. And if we come back to the big one, this one here, the reason I wanted to do all these colours is because I want to use this as the inside of my next book cover, journal cover. And all these colours, not necessarily all of them, but a lot of these colours are going to be really good in my next journal. And what is that, you might say? I will tell you, I will show you. Oh, actually, I forgot to show you. These little pieces of, these self-adhesive canvas blanks, these were. So they have a peel-off back, which I think is rather handy. So this one I did on camera. And I had them all under my box of paints and sprays for overnight. So they're really nice and flat again now. And this one I think we did on camera, all the little pinks with all the sparkles in. And that's very relevant as well to the next journal. And then I did this one off camera, which is basically turned out purple, even though there's probably about 3 colours in there. I don't think I did. I may have done this one on camera, actually. Maybe I did. But yeah, it's turned out very purple, but that's okay. It can still be used. Right, so I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this one, get these out of the way. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to stamp something on it. And that will tell you what the next journal is going to be. And make a little reveal. And then in the next video we will look at all the things that I've accumulated to make this journal. The digitals and the bits of ephemera and things that I've been buying, as well as these stamps. You may have already guessed, and it's not a boho journal, though I can understand if you might think that way. So here we go. I'm going to press my stamp on as hard as I can. Sorry, it's off camera. I'm trying to do a little reveal here, so work with me. I like to give you a little surprise in case you haven't yet figured out what I was working towards. I want this stamp to work. Yes, it works pretty well. Okay, and here it is. Can you see that? Yep, we're doing a fairy journal. That's the plan. So all of these sparklies and the rich colours, these are picking out the colours that I've got in my digital kits. So it just gives you an idea of the direction I'm taking with this fairy journal. There's so many ways you can go with a fairy journal. I'm trying to go for what's slightly mystical, slightly whimsical, definitely sparkly. I may even call it my Fairy Sparkles journal, I'm not sure. I may do, I quite fancy that. So that's what I'm planning to do. So in the next video we'll have a look at all the things that I've, all the bits and pieces that I've collected, and perhaps we'll make a start, put the signature together and things like that. So that's the next journal. I hope you are excited about it as much as I am. It was a bit unexpected. I didn't really plan to do a fairy journal. I'd never even thought of doing a fairy journal until about 2 weeks ago. But that's what I'm going to do, and I'm really loving all the colours, and so there we are. That's what we're doing, and I hope you join me for the next video. Bye for now.